I'd like to give the word to Mr. Mohammed Afzal, who's the chairman and president of Parveen Group, a group that operates about 1,500 coaches, manages about 5,000 employees, and Mohammed is also the Secretary General of the Bus Operators Confederation of India. Mohammed, how do you do this in India?
Yeah, good evening, Jan. Thank you. Good evening, all panelists and the participants. Well, in India, the scenario is totally different. The total operations of passenger vehicle have almost come to halt. Hardly 1% of the operations are in place. Those are pertaining to critical operations. One was the important movement of repatriates. The entire consulates coordinated with the tour operators all over India, and we were able to share our requirements from each part of it. Wherever the consulate general wanted their expats to be brought in and sent back to their home, chartered flights were organized by them, and we were able to provide coaches. So in coordination with these operators, wherever the consulates wanted the buses, we were able to share our business and support the expats. That was one type of business which we could do during this COVID. The second type of business what we were able to handle, which we are handling now, is providing cabs, tourist cabs for transporting the doctors from their home to the medical places and back to their home. Maxi cabs as well as the cabs are being utilized for these critical purposes, just keeping in mind the distancing of the passengers, and the patients are being taken care by the not transporting. Certain patients are picked up by vans through the doctors and they are transferred to the hospitals. The third position is like we were also able to support for transporting the equipments and other essential commodities, and of course the pharmacy and civil supplies. So these are the areas which we were able to support at this time of, and it has been sort of a thought sharing and a business sharing with all these operators as well. We, as Louis said, that we also have volunteered to provide what we call sleeper coaches as arrangements for the patients to be taken care of. Government has already come forward with the railways. They have provided these railways for providing as hospitals temporary arrangement. In a similar way, we operators have also volunteered to the government to provide the sleeper coaches. So this is the way now we are trying to find out and scout for some small business where the business can keep rolling. As of now, at least, it seems that it may take at least another 2 months from now on to actually start moving towards the travel and tourism industry. Until then, we don't see much of sales or business happening.
Slide share.
Yeah. Slide. You can do, I'll just put on a slide to make you understand exactly the situations. The entire country, you could see hardly less than, these are the photographs which are really showing the what you call the foreigners being picked up and dropped them at the airport. And these are the ways now we are actually maintaining these vehicles. So for the pandemic, we are preparing all our vehicles. Vehicles are used for movements during this pandemic, are periodically sanitized every trip without any hindrances. Passenger employees are entering into the vehicle, are made to use hand sanitizers, provided safety masks, and also scanned for body temperature with the help of non-contact thermometers. Only 50% of the seating capacity is allowed for use in every vehicle to maintain the social distancing throughout the journey. The coach and cab drivers are provided and made to use hand safety gloves, face masks throughout the journey. So these are the certain emergency efforts that we are putting into to see that we are taking the passengers safe and to the journey. That's it. Thank you. Last two.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Let's go still a bit further east. I would like to introduce you to Hien Tring, which we may call to try new tools that you are not using yet. And some platforms, some companies offer their services in this period actually for free. You can use it during a couple of months exactly for free. There is a company like don'ttravelempty.com who gives their software, which you can try for a couple of months. Maybe you have the time now to do it and explore new possibilities as well, which is the other thing of what you just said, Mark. But definitely most interesting to investigate the possibilities in both ways.
Thank you.
Let's go to India again. Mohammed, how in India are you trying to reduce your costs in your coach operations?
Yeah, Mark was quite clear enough in how we should bring down our cost in-house. Apart from the cost bringing out in-house, there are various other factors which actually eat away our business profits. In the past more than 1 year, if you see, the competition has risen all over. Travel and tourism has really drastically come down. And at this part of the pandemic period, we have been working with the government to see that furthermore how we can really get the support of the government to reduce the costs. One few of these, which I can just read out. We have given representations to the government of India requesting for support with the employee salaries for the next 3 months. It may also get extended up to 6 months if the COVID issue gets stretched forward. So there is enough ESI and PF funds in the kitty. We've asked the government to work on it and give us support to the operators in the form of advances, which can be repaid in the next 2 years without interest. This is one effort we have to put in, and the government is working on it. Hopefully, we will be getting some good results on it. Similarly, if you see, the road taxes are quite huge in India. Each coach we end up paying between 3 to 4 lakh rupees every 3 months. So, and most of these coaches we have already prepaid, which we have not utilized. So we have gone back to the government to adjust this tax towards the forthcoming operational days for at least another 6 months. This is one way of supporting us for the capital to be infused like. And then there are huge toll costs. In India, the toll cost is more than the road taxes. So here also we have asked for at least waiving the toll taxes for the next 3 months. Cess is once again, you know how the crude oil prices has come down drastically. Here we have asked the government to look upon, because today in India it is still nearing $1 per liter. It's almost about 70 plus per liter of diesel, where we asked them to consider on the cess concessions. The vehicle insurance is one more part where the insurance already paid for the entire year, and we have not utilized these vehicles. We have asked the insurance company, the IRDA, which is the regulatory authority of India, to consider our non-operational days and stretch our insurance further with the same renewal for another period of 3 to 6 months. Triple P is one of the major sectors in North India under public-private partnership. The key success to the several economic around the world in India has been boon to mobility sector with enormous success. Request has been made to the government to support us with a minimum assured business, clear the previous dues, render financial support to keep the industry alive and restart. So most of these are pertaining to the government, because this is about covering almost 65% of our fixed costs. Variable cost is only the fuel and the mechanic and the maintenance, whereas 65% of our cost is all fixed cost, and all these fixed costs are linked to these verticals. The other one is the GST part, and the final one is the financial assistance requested. We have made a request to the Finance Ministry to give a waiver on the interest part for the loans for the moratorium given. Today, the moratorium is being given for about 3 months, but unfortunately, the interest is carried across. So as a result, at the end of 36 months, you end up paying 39 months of EMI because the interest keeps loading on it. So we requested RBI to reconsider on the interest portion so that we get some sort of a saving out of this. And finally, we have also approached the banks to support us by 20% of a capital infusion in the form of working capital. So these are the efforts which we have been putting on in part of the Indian operations to on one side to save the cost and on the other side to restart our business once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. That was a very clear overview of. Thank you very much, everybody, for participating. Thank you very much to the speakers. It's been great to talk to you all. Your input has been very valuable. Thanks a lot to the Global Passenger Network for your collaboration in this session. Before we definitely close or finally close it, we will launch one more poll to see how we can continue with those webinars, how pleased you are with it. And I take the opportunity to invite you all for the session next week on Thursday, 3 o'clock European time. And there we're going to talk about the restart of bus and coach operations worldwide. What hygienic criteria will there be? How will we work on that? And what will be the criteria in the different countries? Thank you very much to everybody.
Jan?
Yes.
While polling is going on, can I just request you whether the World Bank can come forward to understand the financial scenario of all the coach operators all over the world and come out with some corpus funding sort of support? World Bank?
Good idea, Mohammed. In next week's seminar, we will have the participation of the New York Metropolitan Transport Authority. We will have the participation of BOKI. We will have the participation of the Minister for Transportation in Brussels. And we will have one testimonial from a Chinese city, big Chinese city, which has restarted the bus operations yet. But it is a good idea to invite a development bank as well. Although we have to say that the development banks can give support in infrastructure, not really in the operations of vehicles. But we'll definitely look out for that. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope to see everybody again last week. The questions will be answered by the speakers, and it will be published on the Busworld Academy website. Thank you, and see you next week.